हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, क्लास 10 सीबीएसई बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन के शुरू होने में अब कुछ ही दिन बच गए हैं। आप सब निश्चय ही अपने एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी में जुटे होंगे। एग्जामिनेशन के आपकी इस तैयारी में ट्रिक ट्रैक इंग्लिश 9494 भी आपके साथ है। माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, इस वीडियो में मैं सुजीत कुमार आपके लिए लेकर आया हूँ सोशल साइंस सेक्शन 3 द प्रिंट कल्चर एंड द मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड पर एक इम्पॉर्टेंट वीडियो। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, इस वीडियो में इस चैप्टर पर आधारित एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक को आप डिटेल्ड और ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे में समझ पाएंगे। साथ ही इसी टॉपिक पर आधारित कुछ इम्पॉर्टेंट इंटरनल क्वेश्चन और आंसर्स को भी देखेंगे जो एग्जामिनेशन के दृष्टिकोण से आपके लिए काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट होने वाले हैं। आप वीडियो को पूरा देखिए, कंटेंट और टॉपिक को ध्यान से समझिए और अपनी एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी कीजिए। वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए। आपके मन में यदि कोई प्रश्न हो तो कमेंट करके पूछना नहीं भूलिए, और यदि आप चैनल पर पहली बार विजिट कर रहे हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब भी कीजिए। तो आइए वीडियो शुरू करते हैं। Social Science Class 10th Chapter 7 Print Culture and the Modern World. The topic under discussion is Print Comes to Europe. Here is the conceptual gist of the topic. After the trade relation strengthened between China and Europe, China began to export paper to the countries of Europe, where it was primarily used in writing manuscripts written by scribes. In 1295, Marco Polo, a great explorer, returned to Italy from China. Marco Polo brought woodblock printing technology back with him. Now Italians began producing books with woodblocks, and soon it spread to other parts of Europe. Woodblock books became very popular, especially amongst booksellers and students, as it was cheaper than the manuscripts. As the demand for books increased, booksellers all over Europe began exporting books to many different countries. It further created job opportunities for the scribes with the booksellers. But the production of handwritten manuscripts could not satisfy the ever-increasing demand for books because of technical and financial issues. With the growing demand for books, woodblock printing gradually became more and more popular. By the early 15th century, woodblocks were being widely used in Europe to print textiles, playing cards, and religious pictures with simple and brief texts. There was clearly a great need for even quicker and cheaper reproduction of texts. This could only be with the invention of a new print technology. The breakthrough occurred at Strasbourg, Germany, where Johann Gutenberg developed the first known printing press in the 1430s. Some important internal questions with their answers. Here is the first question. How did paper reach Europe, and when? What were its immediate effects? Your answer should be like this. China and Europe had been on good trade terms for centuries. China used to export silk and spices to the countries of Europe through the famous Silk Route. By the coming of the 11th century, China, which had already invented paper and was using it in the production of manuscripts, renewed its trade terms with Europe and agreed to export paper to the European countries. Thus, paper reached to Europe from China in the 11th century via the Silk Route. The immediate effects of the coming of the paper were that it opened the ways for the production of manuscripts. It created opportunities of employment for the scribes. The second question is, who was Marco Polo? What was his contribution in changing the print culture of Europe? Or how did Marco Polo change the print culture of Europe? Your answer should be like this. Marco Polo was an Italian explorer. He lived in China for a good number of years in connection with his exploration works. When China developed woodblock print technology, Marco Polo was there. He had the genuine opportunity to explore this novel print technology and also to watch from the close quarters how it changed the print scenario in China. Marco Polo returned Italy in 1295. He brought with him the much talked about wood block printing technology back and introduced it to Italy. The introduction of the wood block printing technology renovated the print culture of Italy. The production of books using wood block technology was started. The books thus printed became so popular in Italy that its echo reached the other parts of Europe, and soon the technology spread to other European countries also. In this way, Marco Polo brought a pleasing change in the print culture of Europe. Your third important question is, in what way did the print culture of Europe change after the introduction of wood block printing technology in 1295? Your answer should be like this. The Italian explorer Marco Polo brought wood block printing technology to Italy from China in 1295. Thus, Italy was the first European country to use the wood blocks in printing books. The wood block printing technology brought progressive changes in the print culture of Europe, which can be mentioned as given below. Italy began producing books using wood blocks. The books served as the center of attraction and became so popular and demanding that it made the other countries of Europe go after wood blocks. Soon it spread to other parts of Europe. Before the coming of wood blocks, books were printed on vellum and were too costly both for the merchants and the students. But the availability of wood blocks brought down the prices of books to the affordability of both the merchants and the students. The increasing demand of the wood block books widened the market of books both inland and outland. Booksellers all over Europe began exporting books to many different countries. Book fairs were held at different places. To meet the growing demand of the books, the production of handwritten books was also organized. It created new opportunity of employment for the scribes. Besides aristocratic job, they began to be employed even by the booksellers. By the early 15th century, wood blocks were being widely used in Europe to print textiles, playing cards, and religious pictures with simple and brief texts. Your fourth question is, what is manuscripts? Why did it become unpopular in Europe in the 11th century? Or what were the reasons for the decline of handwritten books in Europe in the 11th century? Your answer should be like this. A book or text written by hand rather than typing is called manuscript. It was used in Europe before the coming of wood block printing. With the arrival of wood block printing, the use of manuscripts declined because of the following reasons. Copying was expensive and laborious. It failed to satisfy the immediate needs of books, as it was a time-consuming business. Manuscripts were fragile, awkward to handle, and could not be carried around or read easily. Their circulation, therefore, remained limited. Your last question is, who invented first known printing press, when and where? Your answer should be like this. The first known printing press was invented by Johann Gutenberg at Strasbourg, Germany in the 1430s. माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, इस वीडियो में इतना ही। मिलते हैं फिर किसी अगले वीडियो में किसी फ्रेश टॉपिक के साथ। तब तक के लिए हैव ए नाइस डे एंड गुड बाय।